I welcome you all for the data structure class. So today we will see with the concept of weighted graphs. Okay. So last class we have seen with what how you can represent the graph. Next, weighted graph is nothing but what a edge is having a value. See the example 1 to 3 you are having a edge value 10, 1 to 2 you are having a edge value 20. Like this way every edge you are having a weights or value assigned, that we are calling it as what weighted graphs. Okay, then how you can represent the weighted graphs? There are two ways again, as you already seen adjacency matrix and adjacency linked list. Same way we are calling it as if weight is assigned cost adjacency matrix or cost adjacency linked list. Two ways you can represent. Okay. If you are having a weight, how you can represent the matrix? The value you are assigning with the weight value. If you are not having any value, you are assigned with no. If there is no edge, you are assigning a infinity. Okay, so we'll see with the representation how it can be done. See there, you are having a weighted graph 0 to 1 with the edge going to 1 with the weight value 10, 0 to 2 with the 20, 1 to 2 with the 15, 2 to 3 with the 30, 3 to 1 with the 25. How we can represent this graph using the adjacency matrix? So see there, if you make the column matrix 0 to 0, there is no edge, hence that value is 0. Okay, self loop is 0. 0 to 1 there is a edge with 10, 0 to 2 you are having a edge with 20, 0 to 3 there is no edge, hence it is infinity. So self loop values you are assigned with 0 and others there is no edge, you are assigned with the infinity. This is how we can represent the adjacency matrix. Then how we can represent the linked list? See, you are having 0 1 2 3. Okay, so you are having a connection what 0 to what 1 comma 10. So for 1 it is connecting with the value 10. So from 1 you are connecting to what 2 with a 20. Like this way you can represent it in the form of a linked list. Okay, this is how for a directed graph. For undirected graph what happens? Always self loop 0, and if there is no edge you can assign infinity, but here 0 to 1 you are having a edge but there is no directions, hence 0 to 1 10. Next 1 to 0 also you are representing 10. Previous case you are given infinity because there is no direction. There is a direction, but in this case there is no direction, means in both ways you can assign the weights. Okay, and similarly when you draw the linked list, again you are having 1 comma 10, 2 comma 20, 0 again 1, 0 comma 10, 2 to 15, 3 to 25. Like this way you are assigning the weight in the form of a linked list. So cleared with the weighted graphs, you are assigning a weights for the edges, and that value you can represent in the form of a matrix. If it is a one direction weighted directed graph, you are assigning a value. If it is undirected graph, in both the edges, both the vertices, you are assigning the value. Okay, next we'll see with the traversals. The process of visiting each node, we are calling it as what graph traversal. There are two ways. One is breadth first, next one is the depth first. So we'll see with the breadth first person how it will be traveling. Okay, it will be checking for this neighboring, first visiting the node u, next it will search for this neighboring node of a u, and it will go on visiting all the nodes until all the nodes are visited. It will be moving, then it will terminate. Okay, and it can be implemented using the concept of queues. So see here, this is the given example how you can perform the operation. So initially what happens, my initial node visited is what a. Okay, so as you seen, it is go with the form of a queue. First what in the queue you are having a. Next, a's neighboring nodes are what b, d, e and c. Okay, so adjacent to a are what b, d and e and c. Okay, so next, what are the nodes we can visit? No, a, b, c, d, e. Next, which are the elements in the queue? No, a is already passed away, remaining are b, c, d, e. Okay, next we can take what b. From b, where all you can visit? You can visit to a or you can visit to d. Adjacent to b is what a, d and f. Okay, these are the adjacent nodes to b. Next, nodes what are the visited? No, f is the addition one. Okay, next in the queue remaining is what c, d, e and one more addition is f. Next, so we'll say take this queue value as c. Next, from the c, which are the adjacent nodes a and g. Okay, next visited node is what g. Next, remaining elements in the queue are d, e, f. Next we'll take u as the element, d as the element. Next, neighboring nodes of d are a, b and f. Okay, next, the node visited are a, b, c, d, e, f, g. In the queue remaining is what only E, F, G. Next we will take E as the element. Neighboring nodes of E are what G and A. Okay. Next visitor nodes are same. Next only remaining in the queue are F and G. Next, if you take F, neighboring nodes of F are what B and D. Okay. Visitor nodes are in the queue, you are remained with only G. Okay, next if you take G, neighboring nodes are C and E. Okay, next all the nodes you are visited, remaining in the queue is nothing. Okay, thus from A you can travel to A, B, C, D, E, F. These are all nodes reachable from the source A. Okay, so this is how you can perform the operation. First you visit the source node, from the source node you can visit any of the neighboring nodes, from there other nodes you can move on, and this process work can takes in the form of a queue. Okay, so this is the process for BFS. Next, depth first, what happen, it is traversing the graph each node, but it is not visiting all nodes. It will be go on visiting by deeper in the graph by searching one node at a time, picking. So remaining nodes it will be not considered, and you can implement this process by using the concept of stacks. Okay, see the same example I have taken here. Initially, what is my initially visited element? Again, source element is what? A. Node visited is what? A. Next, from the A I can reach to any of the nearby elements, so hence I selected is only adjacent is what? B. If I select the B, then that element will be stored in the stack. That is the topmost element in the stack. Now node visited will become what? A comma B. Okay, next, from the B where I can reach, I can reach to F or D. Okay, I have selected as what? D, and that is my topmost element in the top stack. Okay, now visited nodes are A, B, D. Okay, next from the D I can visit to what? F. F is the visited node. Next, topmost element is what? F. Nodes visited are A, B, D, F. Next, similarly, ABDF, all the nodes are visited. Next I need to move to E. How we can move? So I'll be popping out F first. So pop F is deleted. Now remaining elements in the stack is ABD. Top element again D is deleted. Next topmost element is B is deleted. Only remaining element is stack as what? A. Next A's neighboring node is what? C. C I have taken adjacent node. Then from the C I visited. So my stack will be containing what? C. But nodes visited are what? A, B, D, F, C. Okay, next my top element of the stack is now C. From the C where I can reach G. So G is the topmost element. Now nodes visited are A, B, D, F, C, G. Next from G I can reach to E. Okay, next my stack element is what? E. A, B, D, E, F, G, C. Okay, like this way. Next I will be remaining. Next, once I visited the node, next I go on popping. First I will be popping what? C. First I'll be popping with E. Next I'll be popping G. Next I'll be popping C. And at last I'll be popping with A. So hence I visited all the nodes. This is how I can implement the DFS. In the BFS what happens? I will be connecting all the neighboring nodes. In the DFS what happens? One node I visit. Next I go to neighboring node. From that again I will be visiting the next node. And if I visit all the nodes, then I go on deleting the elements one by one. Hence I will be using the concept of stacks. Okay, so I hope you go through both the explanation clearly. Okay, and remaining part I'll be discussing in the next class. Okay, thank you.